Good morning. It is very early and I'm getting prepared to go to Yarndale. I think my son is getting up, which is why I'm really whispering. Yes, Angie's on her way here and then we're going to get set and I'm going to drive us down there. Very excited. And I barely slept anyway because I was like an excited child. So, yeah. But that's it. I am getting prepared now. Just got my packed lunch and everything. Packing my bag because we're staying overnight. That's my cat wanting to go out. So yeah, I will see you at Yarndale.
Now I'm a sewer.
Handles on her back.
Hey,
the whole time.
oi, this is hand sewed. This is hand sewed. Look at my sewing.
Beautiful.
It's crap.
Absolutely beautiful. Look close up on your sewing. This will be going in the podcast, mind.
No, I don't care.
Beautiful.
If you look out for the signs in the front of the bus that says Building Society, that will get you back to the Building Society. If you get on the other buses, you might end up at the railway station, and I don't think you'd want that.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Looks like we're on holiday.
Well, that was less stressful, wasn't it?
Sebastian, I love him.
So that was us passing the wool top, and then obviously there's the children's corner where the kids can sit and make whatever they're making that year. I think it was birds and something. And this is debonair. I've seen these a couple of times at yarn shows. I've never actually bought from them though. They do lots of beautiful colours, and there's a big long shawl there that Ange is talking about making. I don't know whether she started it or not. So yeah, this is debonair. I have some beautiful solids and tonals and variegated. If you can hear a squeaking, it's my kitten scratching a plant pot. I do apologise. So after debonair, we went around to Sincerely Louise. This is her new Seaside, Beside the Seaside collection, which is brilliant. Again, I've never bought from Sincerely Louise purely because I don't really knit toys, but I do really fancy like a reindeer or something for Christmas time. I don't know if she does that or not. She's obviously, there's the Christmas trees and that. I didn't actually properly look, but I think I would next time. There's a moose there, so maybe she does do a reindeer. But she basically does mounted heads. That's basically what she does, as well as other toys, and they're really, really clever. Then this lady is a weaving thing, I'm not sure, but she actually got me to do some, so I'm going to let you listen to that.
Bobbin lace.
Oh, okay.
Sit down. Go on, Liz. You can do it. More bobbins.
Right, yeah. So that's twisted, so do you have to untwist that? Oh, it's not twisted. So, that up there. Oh, it's quite therapeutic, isn't it?
Just do it with it. Just as far as
What, like this? Right, okay.
it's going to go in that pinhole. It's got to go underneath those two.
That's so clever.
The pins go in
Yeah.
and then just put some tension on that, tighten it over that. Gently.
Oh, yeah.
Everything all nice and neat.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. Thank you.
So after I'd been taught how to weave a little snaky thing, which was really fun, we went to Attic Spin Dye. They had some lovely Alice in Wonderland themed things going on, and just all sorts of goodies there, lots of mugs and stuff. Sorry, my animals are being super noisy while I'm trying to do this. Always the joy. Yeah, I've never bought from Attic Spin Dye either, and I don't know why. I say this all the time, don't I? I don't know why I didn't buy it for these. I don't know why I haven't bought that.
Is it? Complete grey, yeah.
Beautiful colours, very bright and very variegated, some of it, which I tend to avoid, just purely down to designing purposes. But it doesn't mean I don't like it. Then there was Vincent van Gogh. This is at Anfield Farm, where we seen him at North East Yarn Fest. Sorry, he had his goats there on show as well. And then this is Crafty Bird, who I've seen at every yarn show I've been to. She has some stunning things, and what I like is that she crochets or knits a little square that hangs above, so you can see them on the left there. You can see what each of the colours actually knits up or crochets up like, which is really, really handy. Yeah, and she had some gorgeous mini skein sets. That's her bargain bucket. And then her beautiful poms that she's known for. And the one at the top with the googly eyes. If you've watched my Yarn Festival videos before, you'll have seen that a few times. Then we've got Along avec Anna, which I think this is possibly the first time I've seen her. I loved that bunting. I'd like to make that for my fireplace. But yeah, big stall, not a lot on it, which looked nice, but that's got to cost her a lot of money to not have a lot there as well. So yeah, I didn't actually look at her yarn or anything. She had some beautiful samples, but yeah. Then we went to Woolly Knit. No, this isn't Woolly Knit. This is possibly Bahram U, but I'm not 100%. They had wood note yarn, but I don't think they're called wood note. I'm honestly not sure, and they didn't really have a thing that said what they were called other than Bahram U. So, and then we've got Woolly Knit. Woolly Knit do really rustic yarn. Ange looked at that yarn over and over again. She eventually did buy it at the end of the Sunday. She's thought about it a few times. She's going to make a nice overcoat type cardigan. Not over her coat, like a coat type cardigan, because it's really chunky yarn. Then Pigment and Plies. This is Pigment and Plies candles, and then her stitch markers, which I couldn't properly get into to see. But her yarn is stunning. I did get one from her bargain basket. The ones that I wanted, she didn't have in the base that I wanted. So I will be checking her shop update when she has one. So that was Emma buying her Hobbit bag that she had to have. We then went to Bergen Bath. This is completely new to me. I've never heard of these before, and it was like lots of little felted, what's that called, needle felting, little animals and things. Proper cute, really, really good, but there's no way mine would look like that. So yeah, and I love the little hedgehogs. Then Angela Gardner, I saw these at North East Yarn Show with the geode shawls and everything. They're really, really clever. You'll see one in a minute. If you didn't see it on that video, there you go. That's the geode shawl, and she had like kits for them because there was different ones as well. So yeah, this is Angela Gardner. Lots of unusual patterns. And then across from her was the Threshing Barn, who I've seen a few times now. Yeah, lots of vats of fibre and beautiful, beautiful fibre as well. So if you could spin, you want to look up the Threshing Barn. And lots of books and things. She was selling them off for £10.
You alright? Do me a favour?
Yeah, she's like just like an all-round craft shop, really, really good. Lots and lots of different things. Yarn and sock blockers and needles. This is Knitting for Fun, which is pretty much tools. I don't think they sell any yarn or anything. This is where I got my Mindful cables from, which you will hear about at the end. And then we have Irish Artisan Yarn, who has beautiful, beautiful yarn, and I love her logo and everything, how simple it is, but it's really effective. But I just really don't like tables of yarn. It puts me off. I feel like I don't want to mess it up. So I didn't end up getting anything, and I really wanted some of these purples, but I didn't go back, which is unfortunate. This is me rummaging around in Siobhan's Crafts sales basket. I didn't actually get anything. It's all a little bit too variegated for me. But Siobhan's Craft, this is Siobhan's Crafts now, has some lovely stuff. Really cute type things. I did get a mystery, a lucky dip, which are so much fun. And I'm really happy with the one that I got as well. Yeah, and Ange ended up buying those earrings that she's looking at. Jane got one of the mugs. So yeah, lots from Siobhan's Crafts. Then we go to Telling Yarns, which is a new to me shop. She had some stunning colours. Really nice bags too. I had my eye on that one there, but then when I went back the next day it didn't call to me again, which is weird. This is Fire and Fibre, who we saw at North East Yarn Show. Yeah, this is just kind of like a craft shop. Lots and lots of bits and bobs that they sell. And then I follow a Happy Crow online, but I've never seen them. Oh, that man was posing for his photo for me. I've never seen them. I've never seen a Happy Crow at a show, but so this was my first time seeing them at a show, and they were lovely. This was I really liked the crows going across the front. Then Clover Zone, new to me completely. It was more like pashminas and shawl pins and things. This is the Left Hookery, and this is Black Sheep Wools. You'll notice that I'm flying through a lot of these. There was just a lot that just wasn't for me. Not my sort of, not the thing I was looking for at a yarn show. So I kind of speed through them a little bit. So I do apologise for that if it is your kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I will explain at the end of the video. But it was very different this year. These are, this is a wool shop, so it's a yarn shop. It is a lot of commercial yarns. There is the King Cole Homespun there, which is lovely yarn. And the Batik Swirl's pretty nice too. That was the Yarndale shop at the opposite end. And then we go along to Chroma and Nina. This is completely new to me as well. Hand-dyed cashmere yarn. So it was way out of my budget, but beautiful. And then Baltic Knits, who we saw at North East Yarn Show. They do a lot of colour work, mittens and socks. Lots and lots of kits. Let me see some sheep. There was sheep and there was alpaca in pens there. I didn't get to stroke them though. The alpaca looked at me funny. You'll see in a bit. I thought he might spit, so I walked away. This is Ducky Darlings. I don't know what it is with Ducky Darlings. Every time I go, I see them and I want to buy something for them, but nothing ever jumps out at me when I'm at a yarn show. But when I see their yarn online or whatever, I want it, so I don't know. There's a few in this section that I liked, but I didn't go back. Truly Hooked. I love Truly Hooked. This was her last ever yarn show, which is really sad, but I can totally understand why she stopped. She has some absolutely stunning yarn, and I'm getting her Advent this year. I've just gone for the 10 gram one, so it wasn't so expensive, and I'm really looking forward to that. She's very vibrant colours. This is also who I used for my ranunculus. That was truly hooked yarn. So yeah. Then this is Jo Knit Sew, who had this lovely little picture you could colour in. I didn't actually do any of it, but I wish I had. And when I went back on the Sunday, it was nearly finished. So that was nice. She does sewing kits as well as yarn, project bags. I had a good rummage in her sales basket a few times. Still didn't get anything. I was rubbish this year. I didn't shop properly at all. I don't know what was wrong with me. And this is the Dye Shack. So the Dye Shack I went back to a couple of times, and I did get some things from her. This was my first yarn purchase. I can see a sock blank in there, which I've never used before and I've always wanted to, but I hadn't noticed it because I was looking through the camera, which I tend to miss things. I did get some needle protectors from her, and I got some gorgeous yarn as well. She has some beautiful, beautiful colours. And she's lovely. They both were. Her friend who was helping her as well was really lovely as well. This is multi-pom, so they're all pom-pom based. The chickens at the back are amazing. I'll zoom in a minute. Look at them. They're so good. They had like a device that got you to make lots of pom-poms all at the same time. So Jane did stop and get her to, here she is, getting shown how to use it. So that's Jane Burns from Jane Burns Designs, if you don't know her and you don't watch the Unity podcast. This is the Wool Mouse, or Wool Mouse, not the, who is not too far from me shop, local in my area, and he's absolutely brilliant. I love him to bits.
I hope you're going to go and get some kip first.
He has his own Love Handmade yarn. Oh yeah, Emily Cross Ceramics, who I see every time, and I mean, look at that. It's £400, but look at it. It's absolutely amazing. Lay Family Yarn, my new favourite yarn dyer. I could have spent all day in this booth, and I wanted every single yarn that you see in front of you now, like for the next minute. Literally, I'd said to Jane, had asked me on the Unity podcast if I had a trolley dash in Yarndale, where would I spend my time, and I said it would be in Lay Family Yarn. I would just be in there getting everything. It's just, she's absolutely brilliant at what she does. And yeah, her and her partner, Kelly and Nick, I think they're called. I got 3 skeins from here, and each one was bought separately. I just kept going back because it was just so beautiful. So many beautiful yarns. It was so difficult to choose what to get. Oh, I just want so many of them. Look at them. And I was really drawn to that top row there. I did end up getting one off there, but I just kept going back to that top row over and over again. And now I'm looking at them greens, and this is the sheep. There was a lady, I don't know whether she was feeding that sheep at one point, but then there was a guy in there with his broken leg. And the sheep and the alpaca, I was going to stroke that fluffy alpaca, but he definitely looked at me funny. See? And I was like, oh. So I headed off. He scared me a little bit, but they're beautiful. This is Rosie's Moments. Rosie's Moments is just such a fun shop. They have lots of like treasure type things. Like they have mystery bags, and they have a ball of yarn that has lots of stitch markers inside it and things like that. The only problem with Rosie's Moments is that every single skein of yarn has a little sachet of lavender attached to it, which is lovely, but Jane is gets like allergies from lavender, so she couldn't actually step foot into the booth at all because it's really strong because of the amount of skeins in there. These are the Treasure, the Gifter Ball, is that what it's called? Yeah, Gifter Ball, that's what I was talking about. I've got one of these, which you'll see at the end. Fair Folk Fibres, they had some beautiful yarn. Everyone has beautiful yarn, don't they? It's yarn. You're going to talk to the microphone? My kitten's jumped up to sniff the microphone. Yes, so Fair Folk yarns, no, Fair Folk Fibres, sorry, beautiful. And then Felt Fusion was right next to them. They're very, very colourful, Felt Fusion, as you can probably see. Then this is the yarn artist, which was new to me. So basically I was told that this girl went to uni to study art, and then she's combined it with yarn dyeing, so she dyes yarn based on art. So you can see the art in the background of what it's based on, and she does a really good job of it as well. I think the only thing about it was that there's no like kind of theme in her colours. Then this is Lucy Locketland, who is a shop that's local to me, and she does a lot of colour work things. And then Eleanor Decor, I went in here and said this is like a princess shop. It was just all these pastels and pinks. It was like a 9-year-old girl's dream. It was just so many like pretty things. Coastal Colours, who we've seen before. There's so many colours that I want from here, but because it's all on a tabletop like that, that puts me off. That just puts me off. I think it's like kind of like it's a bit of a jumble sale type vibe for me, and I feel like I'm making a mess, so I tend to not buy anything, which is not good. But yeah, see, this is what I mean. So you've got to root through to find the colour that you want, and that's not for me, unfortunately. Dystopic Fibre, my favourite. This, like, look at the mushrooms on the top, but he dyes everything based on mushrooms. He only had those 3 stands, but it was enough. Like, his colours were amazing, and his stand was just brilliant. And then the Yarn Badger, who does self-striping. She's very, very clever, and she has some amazing colours, and she has the socks all along the top, so you can see exactly what colour you're getting. These are her project bags and her non-self-striping yarns, which are pretty much minis, gobstoppers, and then there's all the colours that you get, and the yarn below. It's really cool.
It's amazing.
And then Felt by Bridget, I just love that witch's hat. I assume it's not supposed to be a witch's hat, but I just really liked it. But yeah, I didn't really go in here because I'm not into felting, but I thought those were pretty, and I just liked the hat. She seemed quite busy in there though. And next door was Quack, who I've used before. I like Quack. Fiona from Quack, she's lovely. She does a lot of bright colours, or really dark colours. Yeah, she's quite unusual in her colours, to be fair, but I do like Quack. That green's pretty. I'm well into green at the minute. Cute stitch markers, cute needle stoppers. And I can see Pia Walk there, which is what I knitted my Ampulate socks in. Then we've got Eden Cottage yarn. So again, this is the yarn piled on top of each other. I did pick out 2, but then I put them back. I don't know. I don't like it when it's done like this. And I'm sure some people really like it this way and don't like them hung up. But I don't know, it just gives me a funny feeling. But look at all them sparkles. Needle and thread, which I've heard of online a lot. but I've never actually seen her at a show, and she had some really pretty stuff, and I really liked her setup. It was different. She's just changing over to new labels, and apparently she was panic wrapping yarn at one point on the Saturday, trying to get all the new labels on. So yeah, this is Needle and Fred. I'm not sure who Fred is, but she's very cat based, so I'm thinking it might be a cat. And then finally we have Lottie Knits. So obviously this isn't all of everybody who was there, but I will explain after. But yeah, Lottie Knits, he used to design for Let's Knit magazine at the same time as I did. So, but now she's gone into dyeing. My camera kept blowing out filming her yarn, just where her stand was. So there we go. So we then headed back to our room. This is mine and Ange's room at the Travel Lodge. And then we all went out for a meal and a bit of knitting after.
Look at Kate being naughty as well.
It'd be my mission to find them. I had a miserable face in the beginning of that.
I'll cut it out, don't worry. Did you smile?
No.
I'll come back round to you and then you can smile.
Yeah, but it's Kate, she never smiles.
So I hope you enjoyed that little look around Yarndale. I did miss chunks this time around. I was there for 2 days and recorded less. I think it was just so busy meeting and seeing everybody and catching up, and at one point I did think, like, my arm was hurting, my neck was hurting from carrying my camera, and I was like, I'm gonna stop and film the rest of this like the next day on the Sunday. But then when the Sunday came, I never actually get a chance to like just be a customer. I'm always looking through the camera, and when you look through the camera you don't actually always see what you're looking at, because you're just busy making sure the light is right and making sure they're getting in focus. So I miss a lot of things, and on the Sunday I was like, you know what, I just want to be able to shop, so I didn't film. So there was a few stalls around the middle that I didn't get to film, so I am sorry about that, but I think you still got to see plenty. It was not as good this year as it has been the previous year. I've only been once before, which was the 10-year anniversary, and it was amazing, such a good vibe and everything. This time that wasn't there as much, and a lot of like the vendors that I would normally know, like not know personally, but like I have been to them a few times and buy from them, like Cooks and Crafts, Beehive Yarns, Skein and the Stitch. Those, they were missing, and that was felt for me personally. There was still some amazing indie dyers there, but a lot of them are stepping back from doing yarn shows now. I think because it's just so much pressure for them to do, and like it's a lot of work for them to do over the couple of days, and a lot of them are now stepping back, and I think that is showing. That showed at Yarndale. There was so much fabric, there was jewellery stands, embroidery, and all that's great, but that's not what I'm into, and it's called Yarndale, and I know a few people felt the same. It was kind of like you were walking past and skipping like 3 or 4 stalls at a time before you would get to the next one that you were interested in. So yeah, not as amazing as previously, but I still had a lot of fun. So I thought I would show you my haul anyway. My kitten is currently playing with a lump of tissue, making a right mess, but you'll be able to hear her being a nuisance. And I'm drinking chai tea in my chipped mug, as you do. So I'm going to pull up my Yarndale bag. It is all in here. This is the bag I got last year. So I'm just going to dive in and start pulling things out. And in case you're wondering and you haven't seen this before, this is my pink fizz. It is knitted in Drops Lima, I think. Or is it Drops Alaska? It's one or the other in just a pale pink colourway. I did this a year ago, 2 years ago. But yeah, pink fizz. It's a fun knit. It is bottom up though. Anyway, so I'm not going to do these in any order or anything. I can't remember the proper order I got them in. I do remember the first yarn that I bought, but it wasn't the first thing that I bought. So I'll try and do that, the first thing that I bought, which is... So the first thing that I bought was the Mindful cables from Knit Pro, or Knitter's Pride if you were in the US and Canada, and anywhere else it's called Knitter's Pride, I'm not 100%. Knit Pro in the UK. These are the Mindful cables. When I first heard about these, I thought they were just doing a relaxing colour and they were just like kind of, what's the word I want? Monopolising on mindfulness and everything, and just doing like a calming colour and calling them all calming things. Since found out that they have like a swivel tip and they just make everything a little bit easier, so they probably would be mindful. So I really wanted some. One of them is open. I got two 80cm length cables with the mind to use them for socks, which is one of the main things I knit. However, after buying them, I then found out that Knit Pro do not go any lower than a 3mm needle in their interchangeable tips. So I'll show you these first. This is the cable. It's this lovely, you can get pink as well, but this is the lovely turquoisey blue colour, which is the one I went for. And if I hold that steady, you can see that this, really, it's focusing on my face. This turns. You see the hole going past. So obviously you wouldn't get as twisted and everything. I got 80cm, which is 32 inches. That's what I used for Magic Loop socks. And the lady who sold them to me was knitting for fun. She didn't know I was wanting them for socks. I didn't say, and I probably should have. But she was telling me how they have no memory at all. They're really good. You can do this with them and they just spring back out into a long line. Perfect for Magic Loop. But I can't get tips small enough. I wanted 2.25mm tips and they don't go smaller than a 3. So someone in my Discord, Barbara I think it was, had said in my Discord that she was looking forward to my review of these, and I will do that eventually, but I need to figure out what tips I'm going to get. I've got two 80cm cables and I have no tips for them. So that gave me a big sad once I realised. And then, as Jane put it in our Unity video, it then gave me a big mad. Because I was really annoyed. Like, I felt like I'd wasted my money on these cables. But I'll figure something out. I'm thinking maybe get 4mm, which is a US 6, and I don't know, maybe a 3.75, a US 5, just to have something to go with, and that's kind of the size I would use for jumpers and things. Yeah, I don't know, but that was the first thing I bought. That was pretty much the only thing that I had on my list to get, so maybe I should research more before I jump the gun, but there we go. Yarn wise, it took me a while, a long while. personally for me, with yarn, it's got the first one has to really grab me by the bits and pull me along and tell me that I'm buying it. And it took a while for that to happen this time around, but it did happen in the dye shack, and he said the yarn shack then, with this, which is called Amplified. Got hair on it already because I live in a house that's a zoo. So this is their label, the Dye Shack. Purple used to be my favourite colour. It's kind of edging towards teal a bit more now, which you'll see. But purple has always been my favourite colour, but it's a particular type of purple and people always get it wrong. And this is the type of purple that is my favourite, this like plum purple. I absolutely love it. Whereas this type of purple, if the scheme was all that, I wouldn't be as drawn, but it's this plum that gets me. But yeah, even my partner, he'll see something purple and just think that I'll automatically like it, and I don't. It's got to be this specific pinky purple, which is weird because I'm not a pink person, but I love that plum colour. So once that started, this was the Saturday, and once I'd got that one, I headed off and I got this one from Their Family Yarn, which is my new favourite dyer. Have a look. So this is called Meadowland. I don't know if that's focusing or not. And it's kind of like a minty colour. I absolutely love it. And then after that one, I went to Rosie's Moments and I got this amazing thing. Now this was the same sort of price as it was even cheaper than some of the yarns, to be honest with you. It's a ball of yarn that's already balled up, you knit with it, and inside you can see one poking through, it's full of knitting notions, so that's obviously a progress keep poking out. And as you knit with it, they all drop out and it's full of them. You can feel them in there. It's all like hard where they are. And the man in Rosie's Moments, I do not know his name, and I need to find that out because he was lovely. He told me that some people just unravel it and pull all the bits out. And he was going, but that's not the fun. And I was like, no, I want to knit with it and watch them drop out. And he said, yes. He said, knit with them over a hard floor so that you know they've fallen and they're not landing on a carpet, because some of them might stab you in the foot. I was like, okay. So yeah, this is like a treasure hunt ball, like a pass the parcel type ball, but it's not getting past, it's all for me. And it's full of goodies. So I got that from Rosie's Moments and I love it. This is the spring colourway as well, which reminds me of like a beach. It's like sandy and turquoisey and it's just beautiful. So I can't wait to have a go with that. That's probably one of the first ones I'm going to cast on because I just want all the thing. But that was my Saturday. That was it. I just didn't. I was filming on Saturday. So like I said, it's like difficult to like, it's difficult to see what you're actually looking at because you're behind the camera. But and I was busy and I was meeting people and all this. So Saturday I just didn't go for it, and the girls were like, what's the matter with you? What's wrong with you? Why aren't you buying anything? But just nothing was really grabbing me, and I was just like, I think as well, I knew that I was back the next day, and a lot of the time you pick something up and you look at it and you're like, yeah, but what if there's better like three aisles over there and I've spent my money? So I kept putting things back. So then on the Sunday I found it a lot easier because then I knew what was there, and I knew that if I picked something up and really liked it, there wasn't going to be better up there because I'd seen what was already up there. So if that makes sense, like I knew what I was going with. And I also on the Sunday I started photographing things that I liked so that when I saw something similar I would check it and see. and then I went back and got all the things that I'd photographed. So yes, I cannot remember what order I got these in though, but this is what happened. So first off, I got some mystery boxes. I don't know what these are not in any order now. That was in order, these are not. I got some mystery boxes. This one is obviously out of its thing, but this was in a concealed bag, couldn't see inside, from Cuddle Bums. So I got this lovely little Notions tub. It's got little clips on the sides, kind of like a mini pack lunchbox, which I love. And inside is these tiny, tiny little minis and a gingerbread man stitch marker. And there's one more mini in there, little yellow one. I don't know what I'm going to do with them because they're so small. There must be 5 grams, but I will figure something out. But they're proper cute. So that was from Cuddle Bums, and that was like a mystery thing, and I love the tub. The other mystery I got was, this was from Siobhan's Craft. Sorry if you can hear my washing machine. And from Siobhan's Craft, we got 2 progress creepers. So one is a bar of chocolate. I don't think that's focusing, is it? No, I don't think it's going to focus. One is a macaron, sorry, not a macaroon. Pink macaroon. Macaron, not macaroon. A macaroon's coconut. I got a, I can't show you the code, but I got a 10% off voucher for my next online spend. And I got this beauty. How cute is that? I love it. So that was these mystery bags. I love them because they're just cheap and cheerful, and it's just such a little lovely little surprise what you get. I also got one from the Dye Shack, and in this one I got a Dye Shack sticker. I got this little bullet thing, and inside, this is really hard to show you because I've tried this when I filmed with Jane, but hang on. Inside is bulb stitch markers. You can't see them from my face, but yeah. Lots of lovely colours of bulb stitch markers. You're not having them. And then this, which is sparkly and just utterly stunning. I love that. So that was from the Dye Shack. Definitely check them out because honestly, I could have spent all day there. They were really lovely and the yarn was gorgeous. The other thing I got from the Dye Shack, these guys, needle stoppers, needle protectors, little dinosaurs. So they're cute. I only got one thing from a bargain basket. What are you playing with? That's my camera thing. I only got one yarn from a bargain basket. I did rubbish in the bargain baskets this year. My friend Ange did amazing. But I got this from Pigment and Ply. Now this is based on a dragon from The Witcher. This is the name. So if I can remember, it's my Ragbraki. I can't remember how you pronounce that at all. I'm sorry. What are you doing? But yeah, it's based on the dragon. It's cool. I went back to Lay Family Yarns a couple more times. These were both separate purchases. I'd obviously been and got that Minty Meadow one, which was beautiful. I then, honestly, every single one of the yarns I just wanted. I could have took home, but I was drawn to the corner where she had all these autumnal colours, and I got this one, which is dark truffle. And then I later went back again. This is one of the ones I took a photo of. I went back again and got battleships. Now that's looking a lot more blue there than it actually is. It's more like a lavender grey type blue, if that makes any sense. It's not as blue, but it's still absolutely gorgeous. That's battleships. That's a bit better there. I then went along to Sable Yarns. Now Sable Yarns, bless her heart, I'd never heard of her before, but apparently she has lost the love of dyeing. And so it was her last show, but it was also, she was selling everything off. And we'd gone, I said next, but it's just next in the bag. We went there a couple of times during the day, and Ange and who I was mainly with, as well as Jane, they got a couple of bits from her, but nothing had really grabbed me. But then we went back at 3 o'clock. The show shut at 4, and she'd slashed the prices so drastically that I had a proper good look. I ended up getting this one, which is called Supermodel of the World. So it's like a gradient type grey. And this has got silk in it and yak. 60% superwash merino, 20% silk, 20% yak. Beautiful. This is her logo, but obviously she's not dyeing anymore. She's done. Which is so sad. And then I got a sock set. That yarn there, which was silk and yak, was £10. And then the sock set I got, which is 75% merino, 25% nylon, I got for £5. This is Miss Nina, this sock set. So it's like this silver grey, it's a bit hard to show you. And then the blue with grey. So pretty and so sad. She also gave us a free key ring with her logo on. And then on the other side, it teaches you how to do a make one left. My next one was another one that I'd photographed, but I actually photographed the yarn 2 down from this. And then when I got there, although I liked the yarn that I'd photographed, this one was just going. So this one came home instead. So this is Needle and Thread, and this is Fluorite colourway. I don't know why it grabbed me, but it just really did, and I can't wait to use it for something. It's just updated, and it's lovely. Now, my favourite one that I bought, my favourite thing altogether, I love everything, don't get me wrong, but my favourite one altogether was Dystopic Fibre. I loved his stall. He only had, a small amount to choose from, but it was just, you know, when you've just got like, there's not a lot, but it's quality. It was like that. It was like, you don't need any more than this. This is perfect. There was a colour for everybody. His pinks were amazing, and I wish I'd kind of got one. I'm definitely going to check online. I don't do pink, but like, I'm wearing pink. I don't really do pink, but I don't know, his pinks were just amazing. And the woman who was helping him on the stand said the exact same thing. She said, I don't really do pink. She said, but his pinks are fantastic. But these this one just grabbed me so much and I had to take it home, and I just love it. This is Winter Shrew Mint. So if you don't know John from Dystopic Fibre, if you have not heard of him before, he dyes everything based on mushrooms. Everything is from a mushroom. This is his logo, his label. So it's a creepy label, but I really love it. And I absolutely love that. I could not walk away. So yes. And then finally, I'd been walking past the Lonely Knitter over and over again. Just looking at shopping. We'd popped in a couple of times. I think Ange maybe had got something from her. I can't quite remember, but we'd been popping in and saying hello to Laura and everything. And out the corner of my eye, this yarn had caught my eye, and then I didn't think anything of it, and I kept going around. But then all day, this is on the Sunday, all day this yarn was going. So right at the very end of the day, it was like 3:30. Everyone was getting ready to go. I said to Ange, before we catch the bus, can I just go to the Lonely Knitter? I have to get that yarn. So we walked into Laura's booth and I said to her, this yarn has been in my head all day long, so it's coming home with me, I'm coming to get it. And when I picked it up off the rack where I'd seen it, it was 100% merino, and that's not what I want, because I won't end up using it. And I went, oh no. And I said, have you got it in sock? And she went, yes, I've got one left in sock. And I was like, oh my God. But now, when I'm home, I can see how close it is to my favourite from Dystopic Fibre. It's very close to the one from Dystopic Fibre. But this is Alison Hightower. Isn't it funny how some of them just get in your head and it's like, I have to take that home. That one is coming with me. This is Laura's logo. And just, it's not exactly the same. See, they're not identical or anything. I haven't been that silly. Well, I've obviously got a theme, haven't I? But that was my last purchase. So first and last, let's have a look at those two together. Don't all fall on the floor, be good. First and last. They could go in a Stephen West shawl, couldn't they? So there we go, that's it. That is everything that I got at the Yarndale this year. I do understand that is a lot. I spent a fair amount of money. I actually spent less than I expected to spend. I also had saved for pretty much the full year. I haven't bought any yarn apart from like some drops or whatever. I haven't bought any indie yarn at all this year because I was saving up for Yarndale, other than the North East Yarn Fest, which I realise, but that was from my Yarndale pot. So yeah, I understand like that it's a lot, but I honestly had to save. I couldn't just go and do that. But when you know that you're going somewhere and you've got a year to prepare, it kind of gives you time to be able to prepare. So I was prepared, because I'd hate to go with Yarndale with not a lot of money and just be struggling to be there because I wanted all the things. I would be a nightmare personally. Some people, that's fine for them and that's great, but for me I would be a nightmare. Everyone would hate me because I'd be crying, wanting all the things. So I know that I have to save and put money aside, and I did. So yes, so thank you to everyone who bought a pattern this year, because that really helped in my purchases. And yeah, so that is my Yarndale haul. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already, please subscribe. It all helps and it would be amazing. And please leave your comments below, because that also lets YouTube know that you've enjoyed the video and then thinks, oh well, maybe this person might enjoy this video too. So please do that too. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.